Welcome to Sunny Day Stamping. I'm Julie Baca, and I've got another project in our Christmas series. This one is really simple, and I'm going to show you how to turn a fairly plain card into something gorgeous just by using an embossing folder. Let's get started. Here's our really simple card. It's white on white on white with a crumb cake base. But that embossing folder just makes this gorgeous. For this particular card, I'm using this Pine Boughs embossing folder. Now you can find it in the annual catalog on page 155, and you can see it comes in a pack of 2. You get 2 for just $10. And stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you another card I made using the snowflake embossing folder that comes with this. And you can see that it fits in your mini cut and emboss machine. That machine's only $60. The larger one fits obviously larger embossing folders like the rest of these. If you don't have a catalog and you'd like one, just look in the description down below and I've got a link for you to request one from me and I'll get one in the mail to you right away. So we're going to start with this embossed piece first. This is 5 1/8 by 3 1/4. And when I like to put my paper in kind of with it upside down, because I'm going to utilize this line here by the Stampin' Up! Logo to make sure my paper is straight, which I guess it doesn't really matter with this design, but some other designs, you know, I wouldn't want them to be askew. I'm going to go ahead and run this through my machine. This is always my favorite part when I open up my embossing folder. It's just incredible, the dimension that it creates. And honestly, this is the one of the reasons why I got into Stampin' Up! Because I wanted an embossing machine like this. I have an electronic cutting machine, but it does not emboss like these. So now we're just going to glue this to our white piece, and this is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And you do not have to worry about these measurements. On my website, there's a printable download, printable download, that's right. And it's going to have all the measurements on there and all the supplies on there, so you don't have to worry about that right now. So now that we have this piece done, we're going to go ahead and cut out our sentiment. I'm going to be using the Christmas to Remember stamp set. This is the one I've been using over and over and over. And the coordinating dies, these are the seasonal label dies. So just grab a piece of scrap paper and I'm going to ink this up in Cherry Cobbler. And I'm going to go run this through my machine. So now we're going to use our label to kind of gauge where we want our ribbon. Look at this ribbon, by the way. Look at the gold sparkles. I hope you can see that in the camera. So I want my sentiment in the middle and I want my ribbon to go right under it. So I'm going to put that there. Holding this, I'm going to flip this over. And then I'm just going to grab some tape. This is so much easier than tying a bow. I'm just going to tape this down. Bring this over. I'm going to kind of pull it a little tight and tape that down. And then just trim off the edge there. I mean, that used, wow. That used such a little bit of ribbon and it's just going to add just such beauty. So then I'm just going to go back through and make sure this is straight. Kind of push this up a little bit. There. Now we're going to pop this up with dimensionals. Now we're going to take our card base. I'm going to use Evening Evergreens just so we have a different look. And we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. Now you could glue it flat, but I really liked popping it up. I just think it gave just that little extra elegance that this card needs because it's so simple. You do need quite a few dimensionals when you're going to do a whole layer because you don't want it to sag. That just would look bad. Now we just need to put a white piece on the inside because you can't write on here unless you have a white marker. So I'm going to use another sentiment out of that Christmas to Remember stamp set, just that same one. and glue this on the inside. Now, before you go, if you watch me, you know I love the details. So we're gonna embellish or emboss our envelope. We're just gonna emboss the flap. So take that same embossing folder and line it up on the crease of where this bends. Now, if you have a mini embossing machine, you're not gonna be able to fit this through your machine because your machine's only, this wide. But if you have a larger one, you'll be able to fit this whole thing through. So it's gonna emboss the flap, but not the envelope. Look how beautiful that is and how it coordinates with your card. Let's put one stamp on the front. I'm gonna take another sentiment out of that Seasons to Remember, and I'm gonna line this up on my grid paper since it's so long and skinny. I feel like a mistake is very apparent with that. I'm gonna ink it up in the cherry cobbler again. And I think I'll just put it down here. Look at that! Now let me show you one more variation. So here's the card we made. I wanted to show you what it would look like if you just did Evening Evergreen with the Evening Evergreen card base. And I think if I did this option, I would turn everything Evening Evergreen. And then I used that same embossing folder to decorate this envelope. And this sentiment comes in that Christmas to Remember also. So here you go. There's all the cards we made today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a sunny day.